In a shocking twist that's sending waves through ARMY communities worldwide, fans are beginning to ask the unthinkable. What if Jungkook doesn't return to the spotlight at all? While millions eagerly await his discharge from the military, others have begun piecing together a quiet, unsettling pattern, one that points not to a comeback but a quiet exit. From his prolonged silence on social media, the emotional tone of his last public letters, to subtle changes in his demeanor before enlistment, theories are exploding across platforms like Twitter, TikTok, and Weverse. Some believe he's using his military service as a final chapter, a way to step away from the spotlight with dignity and without drama. Even industry insiders are whispering about an internal shift. Jungkook seemed distant, reflective, like someone closing a door, not waiting for it to open again, said one unnamed HYB staffer. The real question is, has the pressure finally become too much for the Golden Magne? Or is this all part of a larger, carefully planned reinvention? Either way, the silence is deafening. And for the first time in a decade, fans are terrified that when Jungkook steps out of his uniform, he might not step back into the stage lights. IT starts with silence, and oh, birthday live. No goodbye message before enlistment, and oh, update, no teaser, not even a scheduled post from his team. For the world's most consistent idol, this sudden blackout feels deliberate. Fans quickly noticed that Jungkook wiped most of his social media before entering the military. On Instagram, the posts were deleted. His stories disappeared. His bio went blank. It wasn't a reset. It was a farewell, hidden in plain sight. And then, the final Weverse message, short, emotional, haunting. Please be well while I'm away. You've given me everything. I hope I can return the favor, even if in a different way. A different way? What did he mean? Rumors from HYB suggest Jungkook turned down multiple pre-Waml endorsements, refusing to shoot final brand campaigns. One insider claimed he didn't want a goodbye tour. He just wanted to leave. Even his departure video from BTS's official YouTube channel was unusually short. No dramatic edits, no tears, no solo goodbye message. Just a calm walk to the gate. Quiet. Controlled. Done. Was this Jungkook's way of detaching himself from the idol life, one step at a time? Some think yes. Others hope it's just a phase. But all agree. Something has changed. Other BTS members have mentioned him in passing, but noticeably without the usual depth or stories. No funny anecdotes from boot camp. No, Jungkook says hi. Just vague phrases like, he's doing well. He's resting. We respect his time. Respect his time? That sounds less like he's coming back soon and more like he's deciding if he ever will. Even Taehyung, once inseparable from Jungkook, has been unusually silent about him since enlistment. In a past interview, Jungkook once said, I wonder sometimes what I would do if I wasn't in BTS. But then I think, maybe that's a question I'm not allowed to ask. Now, fans are starting to wonder, has he finally allowed himself to answer it? The pressure of being the perfect Magne, the global idol, the brand ambassador, the voice of a generation, it's a heavy crown. And after a decade of non-stop success, perhaps military life offered Jungkook something fame never could: silence, freedom, space, and he might not want to give it up. Some fans believe Jungkook might pivot into something completely unexpected: songwriting behind the scenes, away from the spotlight, independent travel, and documentary work. He once said he wanted to explore the world without being watched, a quiet life abroad, possibly in Europe, or even full retirement from public life, with an occasional guest appearance like a mythical figure. Rare, impactful, untouchable. It's the question ARMY is afraid to ask, and the one that might be true. What if Jungkook's silence is the sound of peace? What if he found joy outside the fandom, the tours, the fame? What if the stage that made him is also what exhausted him? And what if, just if, he finally chose himself? Some ARMYs say they still check his Instagram daily, just in case. Point one story. One post. One pixel of hope, but it's always the same. Empty. Quiet. Frozen in time, and slowly, painfully, fans begin asking, what if that silence is intentional? What if he's not coming back because he never planned to? Hindsight can be cruel, When fans rewatch old clips, especially the ones from BTS's Yet to Come era, they start seeing it. The longer pauses, the distant stares, the tight-lipped smiles that don't quite reach his eyes. Did I end one behind-the-scenes video? He says quietly, almost whispering, I want to remember who I am when I'm alone. At the time, it felt poetic. Now, it feels like a goodbye note disguised as art. Even the title, Golden, his last solo album before enlistment, now hits differently. Was it a final gift, a last shining moment before he disappeared into the gray? Behind the camera, HYB may be bracing for the unimaginable. Jungkook isn't just a member. He's the frontline, the vocal backbone, the marketing magnet. If he walks away, the business takes a hit. If he walks away, the global narrative of BTS reunion shifts dramatically. An O comeback OT7 toured, an O global farewell concert, an O reunion documentary with Jungkook. That's why, according to insiders, the label is on high alert. Everyone's walking on eggshells, says a source. They don't want to pressure him, but they also can't afford to lose him. The world is waiting, but he's just not answering. Social media is now split in 2.1 side holds on to hope. He's just resting. He'll surprise us with something big. This is Jungkook. He always comes back. The other side is preparing to let go. Maybe he already gave us all of himself. He deserves peace, even if it means we don't get more music. Loving him means accepting his silence. Tears are being shed, not from scandal, not from betrayal, but from the slow, bittersweet realization that the boy they watched grow may have finally outgrown the stage. Imagine this. No farewell concert, an O press release, an O dramatic reveal, just a life. Quiet, full, chosen, and maybe, years from now, we'll hear a song on someone else's album, written by JK. No face, no fanfare. Just feeling that, or maybe one day, he'll walk past a cafe where his old song is playing, he'll smile, sip his coffee, and walk on, still golden, just not ours anymore. I end the mythology of K-pop. Idols burn brightly, but few ever vanish quietly. They announce, cry on live streams, they make statements. But Jungkook simply faded. An O farewell stage, an O press conference, an O thank you goodbye. And that silence, that golden silence, is somehow louder than any encore. Fans are now piecing together the story he never told aloud, but may have written across every lyric, live, and moment of eye contact. I was never chasing the spotlight. I was just chasing freedom. And maybe he found it. What Jungkook gave to the world wasn't just vocals, dance, visuals. He gave vulnerability. He gave sincerity. He gave his youth, every last piece of it, to the fans, from a teenager on debut stages to a global icon who couldn't walk an airport without 500 cameras. He carried the weight of being perfect so flawlessly, most forgot he was human. Now, perhaps for the first time, he's choosing to live as one. N-O managers, N-O red carpets, N-O explanations, just life. Quiet. Real. And we, the ones who love him the most, are being asked to accept the most painful gift of all, to love someone enough to let them go. Here's the twist. The silence may not be a goodbye, it may be a lesson, a reminder that Jungkook, more than anyone, understood the power of mystery. And maybe, just maybe, when we've stopped refreshing his page, when the world stops expecting his return, he will. Not for fame, not for charts, but because he missed singing, because he chose it. Again. And when that day comes, his voice will sound different, not just older, not just deeper, freer. Do we wait, not in desperation, but in respect, not for answers, but for peace, because the truth is, Jungkook doesn't owe us anything, and yet, he gave us everything. If this is his last message, it's the most powerful one yet. Love yourself, enough to walk away when the world won't stop watching. And we'll watch the horizon. Just in case, one more song, one more moment, one more miracle. After all, he's still Jungkook, and legends, they never truly say goodbye. Jungkook may have walked away from the noise, but in the silence he left behind, we're finding something just as powerful, ourselves. Because his story isn't just about one boy who lit up stadiums. It's about every dreamer who was told to smile when they were tired, to perform when they were breaking, to shine, even when they were drowning in darkness. And now, he's shown us that it's okay to stop. To choose rest. To choose privacy. To choose peace over applause. He's not a ghost. He's not gone. He's simply becoming who he was always meant to be, outside our gaze. And if this really is the end of Jungkook the idol, then it's also the beginning of something even more beautiful. Jungkook, the human. You taught us to run. You taught us to love ourselves. You taught us to believe. And now, with no final concert, no encore, you've taught us the hardest lesson of all, that the most powerful goodbye is the one that sets you free. So, if you're watching this, Jungkook, wherever you are, whatever you're becoming, thank you. We'll always be waiting, but we'll never hold you back. You were never just the golden magne. You were the light we didn't know we needed, and whether you return or not, you'll always shine.